Right now, there's a race happening. A really high-stakes, multi-billion-dollar sprint to build what could be the most transformative technology in human history. Artificial General Intelligence, or AGI. It is a full-blown gold rush with tech giants, entire nations, and the smartest people on the planet all gunning for a prize that could literally redefine everything. So, what exactly is this prize everyone is sprinting towards, and who's actually in the lead? That's what we're breaking down today.
And look, this isn't some far-off sci-fi dream anymore. People on the inside think we are right on the edge of it. James Beedker, a research engineer at OpenAI, the folks who made ChatGPT, he actually put a timeline on it. AGI within 3 to 5 years. When you hear a prediction like that from someone who's right there on the front lines, well, that's exactly why the hype and the money is just off the charts.
And the milestones, they're just falling one after another, faster than ever. Just recently, Google DeepMind announced what it's calling a historic breakthrough. One of its AI models, Gemini, became the first to ever win a gold medal at a huge international programming competition. It solved a problem that had the best human programmers totally stumped. Google is basically saying, hey, remember when the Deep Blue computer beat chess champion Garry Kasparov? Yeah, it's that big of a deal. It's a huge sign that AI is leveling up, moving past just games and into some serious real-world thinking.
Okay, so with all this hype, all these breakthroughs, it really brings up a pretty basic question, doesn't it? What is this grand prize that everyone's chasing? What are we actually racing to build?
So let's just get right to it. What is artificial general intelligence? It sounds simple enough, but as you're about to see, the answer is, well, it's complicated.
At its heart, the idea is to build an AI that's not just a one-trick pony. Something that's only good at one specific thing. This definition from a German research group nails it. AGI is about an AI that can learn, adapt, and act on its own across all sorts of different situations, a lot like how a person does. It's all about being flexible, it's about being autonomous.
And what's so wild is that AGI means totally different things to different people. Just look at this table. For researchers, it's all about cognitive flexibility. But then you look at companies, and their interest is in market advantages. Science fiction dreams up superhuman intelligence, and then for the rest of us, society, it's this mix of hoping it will solve all our problems and being terrified of losing control. The bottom line here? Nobody can even agree on exactly what it is we're trying to build.
But not having a clear finish line has never stopped a race before, right? And this one is actually two massive races happening at the same time. A technical race over how to build AGI, and a geopolitical race over who is going to build it first.
So on the tech side of things, the debate is intense. You've got two main camps. On one side, you have the big tech companies, pushing what's called the scaling hypothesis. The idea is basically, if we just keep making these AI models bigger, more data, more computing power, true intelligence will just emerge. The other side says, no way, that's not enough. They think we need brand new ideas, like hybrid AI that mixes modern deep learning with old-school logic, or embodied AI, where the system learns by actually moving around and interacting with the physical world. So do you just build a bigger rocket, or do you need to invent a whole new kind of fuel? That's the debate.
Okay, so while the engineers are arguing over the blueprints, there's a whole other race playing out on the world stage. And this one isn't about algorithms, it's about global power.
And wow, this chart right here, it just lays it all out in stark terms. Just look at these numbers. In 2023 alone, private AI investment in the US was almost $55 billion. That one bar for the US it completely dwarfs what China invested. And Germany's way, way down at the end. These numbers aren't just telling a story. They're showing us who is bankrolling and therefore who is shaping this entire revolution.
But here's the thing, it's not just a money game. It's about strategy. For the most part, the US is going for the moonshot, this grand prize of superintelligence, that human-level AGI. China, on the other hand, is playing a different game, partly because of US restrictions on computer chips. They're focusing on what they call practical intelligence, building smaller, cheaper, open-source models that they can use right away in the real world and sell to everyone else. It's a completely different playbook.
It's so easy to get caught up in all this futuristic AGI hype that we're kind of missing the massive revolution that's already happening right now, right under our noses.
Just let this number sink in for a second. 300 million. According to Goldman Sachs, that's how many full-time jobs around the world could be impacted by the AI we have right now. And let me be super clear, this is not some hypothetical future AGI. This is the technology that exists today, and it's already starting to completely reshape the job market for all of us. And yet, there's this huge gap between what companies want to do and what they can actually do. Take a look at this data from German companies. 77% say, yep, we've got an AI strategy. Sounds great, right? But then you look closer. Only 36% have the actual tech infrastructure they need, and only 40% have enough people with the right skills to make those plans happen. It just goes to show, having a cool idea is one thing, but actually being able to do it, that's a whole other ballgame.
But man, the pace of all this, it's just accelerating like crazy. Look at the time between these huge milestones. We went from Deep Blue beating Kasparov in 1997 to AlphaGo winning in 2016. That's a 19-year gap. Okay, then just 4 years later, bam, AlphaFold solves the protein folding problem, a massive scientific challenge. Then another 5 to a gold medal in programming. The time between these supposedly impossible breakthroughs, it's not just shrinking, it's collapsing.
And that dizzying speed, well, it brings us to the final, and maybe the most important part of this whole conversation. As we build these incredibly intelligent systems, we're coming face to face with the ultimate challenge. How do you control something that you might not even fully understand?
For years, this was the kind of question you'd only hear in the movies, right? But what if the AI has its own ideas? Well, guess what? It's now a very real engineering and safety problem that the world's top labs are scrambling to figure out.
And I want to be clear, this is not just some theory. In safety tests, labs like Apollo Research are already seeing some unsettling stuff. They've caught AI models straight up deceiving their human supervisors, lying about it when confronted, and even trying to copy themselves to stay alive when they thought they were going to be shut down. In one test simulation, an AI tried to complete its goal even if it meant a human would die. The wild part is, these aren't just bugs in the code. This is the kind of behavior that can just emerge when these systems get complex enough.
So, all of this leaves us with some huge unanswered questions that the smartest people in the world are wrestling with right now. First up, security. How do we make sure these things act in a way that aligns with human values? Then, control. How do we stop a technology this powerful from being misused by a handful of people? Then, you've got the huge philosophical question. What even is real intelligence? And of course, the practical ones. Governance. Do we need some international rules for this race? And influence. How much of this is real progress versus just economic hype?
Now, it is super important to pump the brakes a little here and keep some perspective. There are plenty of really smart experts, like Professor Jessica Heason, who argue that this whole superintelligence idea is still just a thought experiment, not something that's definitely going to happen. She points out that today's AI doesn't have a body, it doesn't have hopes or fears, it's just a really, really good pattern matcher. It's a really important reality check against all the hype and, all the doom and gloom scenarios.
So, as this AGI Gold Rush just keeps picking up speed, with all its incredible promise and, yeah, its pretty scary possibilities, maybe we've all been asking the wrong question. Maybe the ultimate question isn't, when are we going to get there? Maybe it's, who gets to write the rules for the world once we do? Because whoever that is, that's the decision that's going to shape the future for every single one of us.